Hey there, internet friends. Welcome to That D Plus Show. Class is in session for the only show from that nerdy site that lets you know what kind of quality to expect right from the name. I'm your host, Trevor Starkey, and each week we dive into a different Disney Plus offering and discuss its history, how it holds up today, and our general impressions of the thing. Joining me this week, we have Cameron Abbott. How you doing, Cameron?
Hey, Trevor, what's going on?
What is going on? And today we're going to be talking all about Baymax! Exclamation point. The series of short little animated videos that came out earlier this year. We talked about it a little bit at the time because I watched it around the time it came out, so I mentioned it in like the kind of like extra credit or the extracurriculars portion of one of the episodes. And so we circled back around to it this week because looking for, something light and easy to do in the, we're going to get probably a few big hits following Disney Plus Day here in a week or so. So kind of tiding us over until then, I was like, let's circle back around to Baymax and check that out. And I thank you, Cam, for joining me. And yeah, Cameron has had a very, very busy week this week, so we were not able to record Thursday night like we usually plan around. So apologies for this episode going up a day late, but it certainly beats it just being me talking about Baymax for 30 minutes or something like that. It's always nice when we have another person on the show. So yes, a little bit of the history lesson here. This was originally released June 29th, 2022. The episodes have a runtime of 11 or 12 minutes. And in the Disney Plus animated shorts timeline of things, we had Olaf Presents came out in November of 2021. Then we had Ice Age Scrat Tales came out April 13th, 2022, which was basically like a send-off for the Blue Sky Entertainment Studios that had made the Ice Age movies that got like absorbed by Disney, I think, with like all the Fox stuff. Mm-hmm. Then we had Baymax here in June of 2022. Most recently, we had I Am Groot that came out about a month ago on August 10th. And up next, we have a series titled Zootopia Plus coming out, scheduled for November 9th, 2022. So going to revisit the world of Zootopia. That should be an interesting little one.
Especially for all you perverts out there.
Don't make a very intelligent movie about like race relations told through the guise of animals into like furry porn, Cam.
I didn't do it, dude. I didn't do it. The internet already did it, Trevor. The internet already did it.
I mean, the internet does it about everything. You can't just like throw that out there.
But Trevor, they went wild for Zootopia.
Did they?
The furries came out in full force for that one. Yeah.
I didn't.
It was crazy.
Apparently I was not. I mean, I don't typipally keep an eye on that sect of the internet anyway, but apparently
I don't either. But you know me, I'm on the fringes. I'm on the edge of the internet at points,
Yeah.
And I notice some things, and listen, when it gets across like what's going on and what I'm seeing, that's how you know it's in the circles that it's in, it's full blown going all out. All right?
Sure.
That's how you know it's getting crazy out.
Sure. We have a few different directors on this one. Dean Wellens directed the episodes labeled Kiko, Cass, and Baymax. He's previously directed TikTok Tale, which was an animated short that played prior to the film Tomorrowland, back when that came out in theaters in 2015. He's also been in the animation department project. That's really his only directing credit, but I did highlight he's been an animator on projects going all the way back to The Page Master, that old Macaulay Culkin film.
Whoa, that's a deep cut. Oh my gosh, that's a deep freaking cut, man.
Up through projects most recently like Raya and the Last Dragon. We have Dan Abraham, who directed the Mbita episode. Previously, he'd also directed Vitaminamulch Air Spectacular, which was a short in the Planes universe, which is the spinoff of the Cars universe. That Dane Cook-led Planes universe. He also directed Once Upon a Snowman, which is a short of the Frozen universe with Olaf. And he has also been in the animation and or art department on projects going all the way back to Space Jam, up through most recently Encanto. Mark Kennedy directed the Yachi episode. This was his directorial debut, but he's been a writer on projects like the Hercules, Tarzan, Emperor's New Groove, and Chicken Little films for Disney. And he's been in the animation and art department going all the way back to Rescuers Down Under, and then up through Encanto. So a lot of like really like long tenured veterans working on this project, and like kind of Disney lifers, it would seem.
Seriously, like I don't know anybody that you just named that didn't have doesn't have accolades like associated with it. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then Lisa Tryman, our last director here, directed the Sophia episode. This is her directorial debut, but she has also worked on the animation and art department projects, starting with Tangled, and then she's also working on the upcoming Strange World, which is the next Disney animated film slated, I think, still for later this year.
Is Strange World like Cool World?
I don't know what Cool World is, so I don't know. Strange World.
It's a film with Brad Pitt. It came out around the same time as what is it? Who framed Roger Rabbit? That's it. Okay. It's if you know, you know.
All right.
It's a weird movie.
No, Strange World. I mean, Strange World, also a very weird movie. From the trailer that I remember came out, I don't know, a while ago. Like it's explorers going to an alien planet that is like, far more alien than anything we typically see, with like blob, creatures and like giant jellyfish things and like all sorts of really strange stuff. So
yeah, that's like. I was actually pretty intrigued by that one because it seemed like it was like a really far-reaching concept for Disney.
Yeah, should be an interesting one and certainly a visual spectacle.
Yeah.
Our writers here, we have 4 writers that kind of worked across all 6 episodes. Sirocco Dunlap is credited with the screenplay. They've previously worked on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon for over 200 episodes. They also worked on the series Man Seeking Woman and Miracle Workers, the latter of which is a Daniel Radcliffe project where he's like I think a priest in the like Wild West era.
Oh, so that's one season. It's different seasons of. The first one is he plays an angel helper in heaven, and God, who's played by what's his name? He chameleon-looking dude from Reservoir Dogs. What's up, fellow kids? From
Steve
30
Buscemi.
Rock. Steve Buscemi, thank you. So Steve Buscemi's God in that.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember
he's trying to end he's like, we're gonna end I'm bored with humanity. Like, I'm super apathetic about it. We're gonna end give it the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel Radcliffe plays an angel who's trying to stop God from doing it.
Gotcha. When I saw Miracle Workers, I thought that was the show, but then like the image that came up was like set in the Wild West, and like the trailer that started playing was like him like on the set of Back to the Future 3 basically, and I was like, okay, this is apparently a different show than I was expecting.
Yeah,
they treated it like an anthology kind of thing of it was one of those kinds of things. Okay.
Yeah, it's there's like a modern one where it's in heaven. The second one is like medieval, I think, like Middle Ages, and then the third season is like the Wild West.
Okay, cool.
I didn't watch it. I just I paid for some reason. I remember the promos for each season.
That's like I remember the promos for that first season, and then maybe I just maybe after that is when I started just paying for YouTube Premium, so I almost never see ads on anything anymore. So maybe that's why I never got to see the rest of the ads. Anyway, Julia Fitzmaurice is credited for the story on this. She's previously worked on the series Cleopatra in Space. Don Hall is the created by credit as the director of the original Big Hero 6 film. He's also the director of projects like Moana, Raya and the Last Dragon, and the upcoming Strange World. And he also worked as a writer on Tarzan, Emperor's New Groove, Moana, and Raya and the Last Dragon. And then lastly, on the writing team, we have Jeff Snow, also credited with the story, having first worked on the story for Hunchback of Notre Dame years ago, as well as Hercules, Mulan, and Tarzan. And he's been in the animation and art departments on projects going back to Batman the Animated Series, all the way up through Encanto. So again, lots of history working here on the Baymax show. Our starring here, we have Scott Adsit reprising his role as Baymax. He was Baymax in the original Big Hero 6, as well as like a lot of the Big Hero 6 spin-off stuff, including the Big Hero 6 level in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, boy!
And he's probably known to many people also as Pete Hornberger from 30 Rock. Which is always like, that's the weird thing, is like, I see him and I'm like, that's Baymax?
What?
That is weird.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
What?
Yep. There you go. Broke your brain.
Pete?
Yep. We have Ryan Potter playing Hero. He was also Hero in the original Big Hero 6. These days, he can also be seen as Beast Boy in the Titans series, if that's still going on. I don't know if that's one of the things that has been canceled in the Warner Brothers Discovery era, or if that got canceled before, or what the status is, but he's also Beast Boy in that. Maya Rudolph reprising her role as Cass. Of course, Maya Rudolph known from projects like Saturday Night Live, Bridesmaids. She was Cass again in Big Hero 6. She's recently in The Mitchells versus the Machines, Luca, and Big Mouth, and she will be in the upcoming Disenchanted film. Emily Kuroda playing Kiko, probably best known to audiences from a recurring character role in Gilmore Girls. Lily Marr playing Sophia here is the titular Cleopatra from the Cleopatra in Space show that I mentioned earlier, as well as I pulled this one in here just for you, Cam. She was Giovanna in Guilty Gear Strive, if that means anything to you.
Yo, for real?
Yeah, she's the voice of Giovanna.
Giovanna's one of the most recently added characters for Guilty Gear Strive, or for the Guilty Gear franchise. Okay. That despite being horribly disappointed with the way the story ended in that game, I'm still a fan.
Yeah. She was also in a whole bunch of other stuff that I just assume was like Nickelodeon projects or something like that. And then lastly, we have Jabuki Young White playing Mbita, who can these days be also seen in Only Murders in the Building, which I know, I believe Logan's been watching through that over on Hulu. And he will also be in the upcoming Strange World film. A little bit of trivia for this one, not a ton, but this is, at least per the IMDb trivia page, credited as the first Walt Disney Animation Studios television series, as opposed to like other branches that typically do the television and animation stuff. And this is the second TV series based on Big Hero 6, following the more traditionally 2D animated Big Hero 6 The Series. Outside of Baymax, Hero, Cass, and Mochi, none of the characters from the Big Hero 6 movie appear in the series. This series takes place in the Earth 14123 version of the Marvel Universe.
Yes, it does!
Which is like, I don't know how those things get determined, but there you go.
They put numbers in a hat and they draw it out into their status.
Yeah, there you go. So I would be curious, does the original like cartoon version of it or comic version of it, is that also the same Earth 14126, and they're all existing in the same? Because like, you know, what the you have Earth 616 versus Earth 199999, which the movies were for a while, but now they're saying the movies are Earth 616, and all that stuff's just weird stuff.
No, the movies are still 19999. It was a line that Mysterio gives in Far From Home. He says, your guys' universe is
Earth 616,
yeah.
Which then got reinforced in Doctor Strange when Rachel in the Earth 818 maybe or something, in the Illuminati universe, she says we've designated your Earth 616 when she's talking to Doctor Strange. So
interesting. Yeah. That's weird that they took a throwaway line from an actor and then did that. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe he knew more than he let on. But yes, it's leading to a whole bunch of confusion.
It sure as hell is, because that's like, okay, so wait. Nope, this doesn't work, man. It doesn't work.
We're not gonna bother trying to dive down that rabbit hole here. I do have though this. I always like when I see these kinds of posts in the trivia because it's always like okay, that was either written by the actor or the actor's agent or manager or something like that. Because this last little piece that was in here that 2 out of 5 people found interesting indicates while this is Disney Animation's first series, one of the new cast members is better known among Disney fans for his work on Disney TVA projects. What's TVA? Television projects, I think. Television animated projects. Zeno Robinson, who voices Remy Remington in Big City Greens, Hunter in The Owl House, and young Adrius in Amphibia. And if you want to know who Zeno Robinson played in this, he's Ali, the boy in the Sophia episode. He's the other yo-yo kid.
Yeah, that was a publicist, definitely.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like all right, that's somebody's trying to make their make some some trivia for their employee. Yeah. But yes, that's the trivia I have for this one. So Cam, what did you think about Baymax?
I remember telling you that I wanted to go back and watch it when you talked to me about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was really blown away by just like how great this was. First off, when Baymax rolls up in his little mini Baymax arm, go-kart, it's the most adorable and hilarious thing in the world. Holy crap, that's so cute and funny. It had me just like, I was just guffawing in laughter when I first saw it. Cause it's this like little mini armored Baymax, just like go-kart scooting forward and then just like stopping and then like collapsing and then they like inflates. And it's like, it's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Cause when he's in that, and then when there's the chase scene in that episode, was freaking hilarious. Just like this, like, thing, just like this, it's coming at you, and this guy's freaking out. This show is just amazing. For one thing, it's like incredibly progressive.
Yeah,
in so many ways, just outside of like this typical storytelling. But the best part about it is like there was absolutely nothing being done to call attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no like pause for effect, like pause for the applause because we're doing something progressive.
Yeah.
It's you mentioned it when we talked about it before, but like there's that tampon scene where it's like there's a trans dude there and he's just like, oh yeah, these are the ones I use. And it's like, and then like right after, oh, I use these, like my daughter usually gets these, like succinct. There's no pause for effect. There's no pause for applause. There's
no like patting yourself on the back, Disney, for doing this.
The like gay couple in the food truck episode was awesome because they treated it like it's just they treated it like it's a like typical, oh my gosh, this guy I have a crush on is talking to me.
Yeah.
Just totally like great reaction to that. It was phenomenal. Also like dealing with like oh hey, like redefining my entire existence because my existence is we make fish soup. I make fish soup. That's it. We're all about fish. And then you get an allergy later in your life that makes you allergic to fish. What do you do? Like that's such a massive, like that's such a cool concept to be putting in front of people because that's such a heady existential problem that this guy has. And then he faces death and realizes, you know what? Like living's worth it. I can, like, I don't have to die. I literally let myself almost get killed because I didn't want to let go of fish. And that was it. And it's like, goddamn, like that's so good. There's the whole, there's the whole spectrum of stories being told here. And it's absolutely phenomenal on just about every level. I found myself fascinated, especially because I was like, okay, so it's an old lady who's scared of the water. It's like, no, it's just like this. It wasn't until he mentioned the community pool that it actually was a problem for her. Because she's dealing with like the recent loss of like the most important person in her life. Yeah.
It's not that she's afraid of water. It's that she has like trauma around that place.
Yeah. It's like, and her trauma is that when he was alive, she never bothered to go swimming with him, even though he went to that place all the time. and it was like one of his favorite places, presumably by what they showed off. And for her then to like for Baymax to be like you're healthy, you have plenty of life left to live, so why not jump into it? And just it's so great to see so many people be annoyed by this character who just means well and is just trying to help.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out that, yeah, that is the solution. It's just somebody being there trying to help.
Yeah.
And also Baymax showing that he's an absolute badass. Like when he turned the car midair while it was flipping on its side.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything that
happened.
And
becomes the airbag to like block the crash.
Yeah. Perfect. Just like, oh yeah. It's like, oh, that's right. He's not just a healthcare companion. He is also a superhero
mm-hmm.
in his own right. Like, that's so cool. And then I love it's like, I was like, oh, we're going to see Hero. And then sure enough, at the very end, Hero pops up for the last episode to kind of like give us the kickoff to them being the ones to rescue Baymax. And that's what.
Yeah. It's fun throughout because he's like, I mean, I assume you caught like each episode has like a little like mid-credits tag basically that Hero pops in for, and you get like one more joke with like whatever Baymax did in that episode. Like in the swimming episode, he's wearing like swimming attire and stuff like that. And and my favorite is like, why does it smell like dead fish in here? Probably because of this dead fish that I have for sushi. So like I love the one that it ends the cat episode and he comes back and Baymax isn't there. He's like, and it leads right into the like, and I like I remember when I first watched it being like just slightly ahead of the realization that they'd put together a little Hero 6 to save Baymax in that finale there. And so it's like a great kind of like how they, give each character their like episode, so that like when they're all on the hunt to save Baymax, they're each kind of using the things that, made them special in their episodes and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
Do you have any fish tacos? No fish.
No fish. Yeah. The smorgasbus. Also, I like a shout out to the name of the smorgasbus.
That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, in addition to all the elements you touched on, yeah, those were like the standout things for me, especially watching it that first time. And I remember, some of those things did make the rounds of like, hell yeah, Disney, go off, especially because of, the year that Disney has had in when they decide to be vocal about activism and whatnot. The fact that like, at least some sect of Disney was kind of working on these projects and kind of getting to include these little elements and stuff like that was a really cool thing. And even the idea of an episode dedicated to like a woman or a young woman confronting her first period and like addressing that, which is not a thing that typically gets addressed in a lot of media forms and stuff like that.
And when it does, it's about it starts off, it's like, this is the thing that they do so well in this show is it starts off by making you think that it's about this very real physical problem.
Mm-hmm.
For Sophia's case, it's the menstruation. Like she's going through menstruation. It's not until the very end where Baymax talks to her and finds out the problem isn't that she's menstruating. Like, yeah, that's a problem. She doesn't know what to do about that. But the existential problem she's dealing with is
I'm not ready to grow up yet.
Yeah, I'm not ready to grow up yet. I'm not ready to deal with like womanly things. I just want to be a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And Baymax just basically is like, listen, you're not a teen yet. You're still a tween. Like you're still young. You're still a kid. Like you still have like so much left of your childhood. Don't be hung up on this in his own Baymaxy way.
Your body may change, but you will always be you, is what he says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's ideal. Like it's just every single episode. Oh, is the problem that he's allergic to fish? It's like, no, the problem is that there's a legacy in his family that is that fish is these like thing that they are all around.
Mm-hmm.
And fish is what put food on the literally put food on the table.
Yeah.
And like he grew up in that bus. Like it's about the connection he has to his family.
It is. And it's also this element that like he describes it as like his parents were courageous taking a risk on making a fish food truck. He's kind of like inherited that and taking that on, but he's played it safe because of that. And so it is like he's now forced into a position where, as Baymax kind of tells him, like, can you be courageous like your parents? And so that's when he goes out and he tries all these other foods, and he's going to become a chef. And then he's like, yeah, if I'm going to be courageous in food, I'll also be courageous in love. And he asks Yuki out, and it's adorable.
It's so cute. Oh, we should go to a place and get food to eat.
Are you asking me out on a date?
Yeah, a date. Oh, and then Baymax behind, just like, your pheromone levels are increasing.
Yeah.
Or like your brain is excreting pheromones into your bloodstream. And it's like, no, yes. To you, yes. And it's just such a great, like, gosh, it's, oh, sorry. Sorry, audio listeners. It's such a great freaking show for so many reasons, not just like the progressive stuff, but just the way that it's handling things, and the way that it's like, oh, it's not about like with Cass, it's not that Cass is a workaholic or she's obsessive about like her business and the people that are in it, but because there's a reliance on being somebody who ends up having to take care of a family.
Mm-hmm.
And that also, if you watch Big Hero 6, you know that like she was supposed to take care of what's his name? The old Takashi. She was supposed to take care of Takashi, the older brother, and he died in an accident trying to be a hero. It's a whole lot. And so like she promised to take care of this family. This family's already lost somebody pretty recently in the scope of the film. And like she can't let, like, what happens if her customers go away? The business fails.
Yeah.
But the problem isn't the business failing. The problem is the business failing means there's nothing for her family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I love the layers they are going with this show. And they hit it off in every episode. Because even the episode where it's about a goddamn cat,
mm-hmm.
It's not that it's about a cat. It's about the fact that this cat has been abandoned and it's lonely.
Yeah. Which is, it's very on the nose with like the musical cues and the ads and stuff. Like I took the notes of like, you know, one of the ads when he goes to meow is like, do you wish you could be happy? And then the song that plays is like, yeah, it's lonely here. And it's like, that's not really a song that you're okay. Like my only gripe with the Yachi episode is that like, is just the like, that's not how earbuds work in 2022. Like if earbuds like, were somehow connected to, you know, an AM FM radio in a car, sure, you'd get all of those like the dial turning scratches and stuff that they use in this. But it's like, especially with how far away from that owner is, there's no way that thing is connected to any kind of Bluetooth thing anymore. So it's like, but you know, we'll go with the conceit because it's a fictional world. Maybe Earth 14.123 or whatever has sorts of different Bluetooth rules and Wi-Fi capabilities and all that stuff. Whatever.
Well, what it is, it's a modernization of the old gag of the kid with the headgear.
Mm-hmm.
Like the joke about, wow, your headgear's so big and so like complicated, you must get AM and FM.
Yeah.
Like it's that old joke but tied into like headphones inside of this cat. It's great.
One of the things I appreciated rewatching it this time was seeing how they like just kind of like sprinkle in things that are going to come to play in the final episode. One of those being, you know, the like introduction in the Kiko episode of Baymax giving out the red lollipop kind of thing. So that when she sees the cat with it, like she recognizes it. And then also Yachi gets introduced in the Umbita episode, like digging in the garbage for like dead fish. So like they kind of do a little bit of sprinkling and foreshadowing. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was a fun thing to kind of like circle back to and revisit. And so I'm glad we were able to find some time with it. I'm glad you were able to join me on this one.
Dude, it was, I will say, thank goodness for these episodes being so short because I was able to fit them all in after work today.
Yeah. I'll also say, I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit in the like, what else did you watch? In anticipation for this, I also sat down and like rewatched Big Hero 6 a few days ago, just because I was like, I want to circle back to that. And gosh dang, if the Fall Out Boy song Immortals doesn't just slap for me. That is one of those, like, that song comes on, I'm like, hell yeah, this is a good one. Like, they just, Fall Out Boy is far too much my jam for like I'm not much of a music person, but that is pretty much like the sweet spot. Like Fall Out Boy and like Panic at the Disco, I think were like my era of like, you know, the alternative rock kind of stuff.
That's okay.
I mean, like I guess like further back, like Linkin Park and stuff like that too. But yeah.
No. I was thinking, I was like, well, how old was I? And thought about it. It's like, no, that fits. That tracks. Like with our age gap, like, yeah, that would be like you're like in your late teens, your late teens, like burgeoning adulthood.
Back when I still listened to things on AM/FM radios.
Yeah.
In the world before podcasts, this is the kind of stuff I listened to.
This is the thing I have to remind myself is like, Cameron, don't forget you started listening to like music like adult or like older people type music way earlier on than your contemporary. It's like, yeah, okay, that's a good point.
Very fair.
I just having older siblings and also just like constantly listening to 103.9 The Edge for like religiously listening to 103.9 The Edge almost every single night.
Same.
For like more than a decade. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but no, it fits, because I was thinking about like, when was Panic at the Disco big? I was like, yeah, no, and that would have been right at the right time for you. Yeah, okay. Yeah. For me, like, and that's the thing. I was like such a like I'm not a big Fall Out Boy fan. I'm not a big Panic at the Disco guy. Like mainly just because like it was around the same time that I started getting into like where the taste of like the people around me and everything were getting into like this like mainstream stuff. I had discovered like the indie rock scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got heavy into the indie rock scene. And so now I'm listening, like now I can listen to like this music that I was like kind of like very much like that's like not superficial, but it's like, it's not like authentic rock and roll. Like people forget I was like a proto hipster. I was such a fucking douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
I still am, but not just different. I'm a different flavor of douchebag now than I used to be.
Yeah.
I was so that's the word I was pretentious. I was very pretentious as a teen. So I put off that music, but I'll tell you what, man, if you want to talk about Fall Out Boy, their cover of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting is really spectacular. Immortal, whenever I hear that song though, I think of Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I do is because during a season of Dancing with the Stars, one of the like professional dancers was injured, but he was still like part of the competition stuff is that he still had to be involved in the dance number. And so he and his partner, so she had another person she could dance with anybody, but he had to be present during the dance with his own thing in order for her to keep going in the competition. So when they did Immortal, they did it very much where he was a king on a throne, getting jealous of his queen dancing with another guy. And I will always remember that because I thought that is such a smart way of doing this thing where he can't be on his feet and dancing during the competition.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, like, I was very impressed. They made it very, very far in the competition then.
Cool.
Yeah, anyway.
Any final thoughts here on Big Hero 6?
No,
Baymax, rather. Sorry.
Baymax, the concept of Baymax, Big Hero 6, San Francisco is such a cool and dynamic way of applying the cross-cultural references that you get in, because you and I have been to San Francisco several times.
Indeed.
We
met in San Francisco.
We met in San Francisco. Despite the fact that we lived like 10 minutes away from each other at the time. I think that there has not been enough done in the post Big Hero 6 up until I think really recently with the like kind of like the San Francisco? Yeah, San Francisco like universe. It's so underutilized in a lot of stuff, and so for them to be doing things with it like Baymax, that's like it's super intriguing and interesting. I just love it. I just think it's phenomenal.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
More of it, more please. More Baymax, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for kind of like just each of the little like life lessons that this episode kind of like doles out, and the way in which it doles them out. Like, I'm a sucker for that, like the heartfelt end of the Cass episode where like the cat video gets, she starts seeing, and it's just all of her customers being like, hey, Cass, get well soon. We'll be here when you're waiting. Baymax is doing great. He's slow, but your health is the most important thing. And like the idea of like this care and love that she puts into her community is putting back in to hers is lovely. The like, yes, live your life, Kiko. Like, it's not too late is a lovely moment. The like, you don't have to grow up yet. You can go hurt yourself doing weird yo-yo athletics and acrobatics. Go for it, Sophia. I mean, yeah, being adventurous is Mbita, and then the cat ultimately getting to find like seemingly a home with Kiko, I think is kind of the implication there, is a nice little beat. And also we didn't talk, we talked about the auditory like humor that the cat episode fits into, but I think it's also a very fun one to really hone in on. If you loved from the original movie, that bit where he slowly deflates and puts tape up over him, well, now he's got a Band-Aid like dispenser on his finger, so he can just kind of do that wherever.
Oh, so that was so great.
You get all sorts of like comic moments of the cat just tearing him to shreds, basically. In the lead up to him being trapped in a abandoned warehouse.
Well, it's interesting because
destruction.
Yeah, I found it very interesting because, or not interesting, I found it really funny when he popped up in the ramen stand, and he puts the ramen back in the bowl and then realizes he left a Band-Aid and just takes it and puts it back on himself, and it's like gross, but also hilarious.
Yeah. And then like the like everybody coming together episode at the end is again, like, I think everybody gets like this moment to shine, and it's a cool little just like, oh, like they put the pieces out there and they found a fun way to bring them all back together. So yeah, shout out to Baymax.
Yeah, when Kiko was doing the like at the very end when she shoves Baymax and Sophia in the hole and then covers it with her body, I was like, oh my god, this lady's awesome.
Yeah,
I already loved her because she was like, she was a hard ass, and I love nothing more than curmudgeonly old people.
Yeah,
and I adored how when Hiro and Cass go to her house and go like, "Can you help us with it?" and she slams the door, and they go, "Well, we could have seen that coming." And then she busts open the thing. She goes, "Let's go save
Borax. We must save Borax.
We must save Borax."
Yeah,
it's like.
And then when she like puts it together with the cat, it's like, quick, cat, lead us to Borax, and like she's ready to run and chase after, and everybody else is like, let's get in the car, let's just drive.
I love it. Her impression of Baymax is hilarious.
Yes. Hello, I am going to deal with your biggest fears. Here's a lollipop. Yes.
And the cat knew immediately who it was.
Exactly. Come follow me. I know exactly where that guy is. So yeah, lots of fun here with the Baymax series. I hope they do like another run of it, and it's not just like a one and done thing. Because I think it is. I think like it's such a fun world that they get to explore and play in. And yeah, I think it, like rewatching Big Hero 6, especially, it was like, this is such a fun, like, just, it's so different from everything we get with like Marvel, like the MCU and stuff like that, but it still has like the love of the MCU and stuff. So, yeah, it was fun. Good fun times. All right. Well, let's go ahead and give it a grade on the report card, where we grade from A+ to F. What grade do you want to give Baymax, Cameron?
I'm going to give Baymax an A.
Yeah.
I found it to be absolutely stellar. The only thing that's against it is there's not more episodes.
Yeah.
There's not more of it. That's it. That's its only fault. There's not more. And I don't want longer episodes. I just want many, many more of them.
Yeah.
Because I love the bite-sized nature of it. They're perfect.
Yeah. I'm very much in the same camp. A for me as well. And yeah, it's like what it is a pitch perfect length, and for what, the story they told, a like incredibly crisp, overall it's a 60-minute 50-minute story kind of thing, and they do a great job with that, especially on the heels of I Am Groot that came out later. Like I Am Groot is a far weaker version of this idea of like, let's take a fan favorite character and just like do fun little comedy things with them. The I Am Groot stuff is like each one of them is a one note bit that like wears out its welcome. And in part, it's because you're confined to having Vin Diesel just be able to say "I am Groot" as a baby. But this, I think, and like the story that they chose to tell here, I think is solid. And yeah, I would love more of it if they can, continue capturing that magic in little bite-sized chunks. It's very much like that. Well, like the Adult Swim kind of vibe of like it's a 12-minute thing. It's going to be in and out, and we're going to go to a commercial break kind of thing or whatever. And you tell a full story.
The Aqua Teen Hunger Force method.
Yes. All right.
Something I never thought I would say on a Disney Plus show. Yeah. Or that D Plus show.
Extra credit, other suggestions if you like this. Surprise, surprise, Big Hero 6, as well as Big Hero 6 the series, Big Hero 6 shorts. And then we get away from Big Hero 6 stuff with Wreck-It Ralph, Zootopia, Olaf Presents. And we take a dip back into Big Hero 6 stuff with Baymax Dreams shorts. And then lastly, Ralph Breaks the Internet is the other recommendation there. Extracurriculars, you watching anything else on Disney Plus there, Cam? You keeping up with She-Hulk and stuff like that?
I got to. I need to. I have the 2 episodes that came out last week and this week to catch up on. I have just been just absolutely swamped. I barely had enough time to fit in less than an hour's worth of Baymax shorts into my week this week. Mm-hmm. We talked before we started recording. I've missed out on a lot this week.
Yeah, it happens. So. I, in addition to, as I said, like in the lead up to this, I basically took a night where I was like, I'm going to throw on Big Hero 6 and watch that while I, do a little bit of chores and stuff around the house and like just had a good time revisiting that. Then I watched this, and then my weekly staples of High School Musical, the series, just continues to be, mindless silliness. This week was the weirdest for me because like they did their big final number of this week was a Camp Rock song, specifically Camp Rock 2, I think. And I'm like, I don't think I ever watched any Camp Rock stuff. So, okay.
The fact that you said there, I didn't know there was a Camp Rock 2, Trevor.
Yeah, there you go.
Why'd they make 2 of them?
Yeah. But it's still, it's still funny, or fun enough. And then, yeah, I'm still very much enjoying She-Hulk. I'll be curious to see where that continues to go. I think that was it in terms of my extracurricular viewing there on Disney Plus. Yeah. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for joining me, Cam, to discuss Baymax. You can follow Cameron at Rev Cabot, 2 B's, 2 T's. Anything you want to give a shout out to there, Cam?
Yes, there is. I want to give an enormous shout out to Friday Night Dying Light. We are coming up towards the end. This week's episode is quite literally action packed. I lost track of time while recording, and so there's almost 2 hours worth in this episode. But it flows cohesively. It's all following the same thread, and it's actually kind of cool because it's like the start of kind of like the beginning of this quest line and then where it ends. And it's very, very cool to kind of capture all of that. But also it was just a really, really fun time to get through that. So yeah, go check it out.
Very cool. Yeah. I when you sent over this week's episode, I had up through episode 30's images done. So I was like, oh, I'll go ahead and knock out the rest of them now that I know that is a 34 episode run. So I put together the final episode thumbnails for that last night. So yeah, go check out Friday Night Dying Light. Inspired by Friday Night Dying Light, you can follow me at Trevor J. Starkey. I have been playing a crap ton of Skyrim that will be rolling out over the coming weeks. I've done in terms of like stuff that I have recorded that will come out probably over the course of the rest of the year at this point now is I've done all of the companion quest line. I just finished up the Thieves Guild quest line last night.
That is a great one.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm probably going to slide back into some of the actual just normal Dragonborn stuff. The normal like storyline stuff, because Dragonborn is also like a separate DLC thing. And then also eventually I'll go and join like the Stormcloak Rebellion and stuff like that. So been recording lots of little episodes of Skyrim. What? Would you rather I join the Imperials? What kind of...
Yes, because they're not racist dickbags.
I mean, sure. So you're the kind of person that would join the Empire over the Rebel Alliance.
No, because the Rebel Alliance wasn't made up of a bunch of racists.
The Empire in Skyrim also racists. They're racist against the people that live there in Skyrim, the Nords.
No, they're not. They're
Yes,
trying to. They're not racist against them.
I mean, well, they're racist against everybody else. They playing as a Khajiit. They're super racist against me.
No, to be fair, not to be fair. Sorry, that's.
Everybody's racist against the Khajiit in that game.
Yeah, everybody
Khajiits
is.
are lying, thieving cat people.
They're based off the Romani, so I used to have a lot. Anyway, I won't get into that. Because I'm better. I'm a better person.
I'm still going to be a Rebel Alliance person over an Empire person.
That's not what the comparison is. Oh my gosh! They're literally trying to create like a racial, ethnic state. They're trying.
I think you're remembering Skyrim very differently.
No, it's for the entire. They're like Skyrim belongs to a single group of people who all happen to be blonde, mostly blonde and blue-eyed people. I'm just saying, Trevor, there's a correlation here. They literally have segregation in the capital of the Stormcloaks, Trevor.
I mean, okay, then neither of them are good because the Empire is just colonizers in Skyrim.
I mean, initially, yeah, they were. Well, actually, to be fair, he started off in Skyrim, and then he established the Empire in Cyrodiil, the original Emperor did. So, kind of loops around a couple times, if you want to know what I mean. Nobody, they're it's not good.
Yeah. Well, we also got Dark Brotherhood stuff I can do. So, I'll probably just never even get around to the Stormcloak versus Empire stuff, but
listen, when the Dark Brotherhood,
at this point I'm going to do it just to spite Cameron.
do it to spite me, that's fine. If there is less ethical ambiguity for being in an assassin cult than there is to be part of this Rebel Alliance that you claim to be supporting. I'm just saying, Trevor. I'm just saying. All right.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can go find those Let's Plays, all of those Let's Plays, both mine and Cameron's, on youtube.com/thatnerdysite every Tuesdays and Thursdays for my Let's Plays, and then Friday evenings for the next month for Cameron's. You can follow all of us over at That Nerdy Site or go to thatnerdysite.com for all the latest from us. Once again, if you liked what you heard, please rate, review, subscribe, share the podcast with your friends, all that fun stuff. Thank you for joining us. As always, stay nerdy, be good to each other, and class dismissed.